Good morning. It is a true delight to greet you this morning from the nave of Upaya Zen Center in the meditation hall, and to reach out across the miles to ground in genuine gratitude for our practice, whether it be in person in this extraordinary room or in the extended community, which is all present this morning, vast and subtle, our practice, and grounded in gratitude. Gratitude for the gift of practice in difficult times. Gratitude for a place and a way of practice. Gratitude for the founder, the creator of this temple, Roshi Joan Halifax, and the students, ancestors, and descendants of this tradition who are practicing with us strong and long this morning. Circle of the way. Feel the life of where you're sitting in this room. Feel the circle of the way. Feel the standing dead, the ponderosa pines of Lincoln Forest that hold up this room. Feel the mirror floor, the ground threshing floor of our practice. And feel the 10,000-year-old mountain, which is the tradition of this land and the people of this land, known and to be known, continuous practice. And out of this matrix comes our call to study and practice together in whatever way we can. I remember in this very room a number of years ago with a group of chaplains, one chaplain, young chaplain, standing up, putting out her arms and calling on a message from the 13th century Sufis. "Oh Lord, increase my bewilderment. Increase my bewilderment." And practice, meditation, and service, engaged service, increases and deepens our bewilderment and our intention. So we have agreed to be bewildered for this month. Just this is it. Pure, unadulterated 11th century bewilderment. Thank you, Dogen. Thank you, Dogen Zenji. Yes, indeed, behind me, soon to be your birthday. And thank you, Dongshan, for the gift of practice. And where does it come from? What's it rooted in? This is writing. Good, strong, grass writing, right? Grass writing. You open the page and it disappears. And it has roots that go down 10,000 yi. So let's remember where we come from. Remember where the tradition is rooted, because this is an extraordinary text, the song of the Jewel Mirror of Samadhi. Coming from a tradition of ragtag, cloud and water, patch-robed monks and lay people who are willing to live and die together, lifetime after lifetime. This is the matrix of this sutra. Yes, we think we have it and we can keep it well, but it depends on each one of us to continue opening it. And let's draw our chairs to the edge of the precipice, as F. Scott Fitzgerald says, and let's listen to the story of this sutra, because it is a story, a long, winding story. And it begins in a forest with a woodcutter, an illiterate woodcutter from southern China. Woodcutter Hui Ning, roaming the woods with his axe, eking out a living. But the wooden man begins to sing when he hears the Diamond Sutra quoted recited in the forest. What exactly? I like to think, you should see this world. A drop of dew, a bubble in a stream, lightning in a summer cloud, a phantom in a dream. He hears it. He listens. Where is this from? From old man Hongren, lives over there. His temple's over there. He puts down his axe. He goes to the temple. He's not a monk. He can't read. He pounds rice at the entrance to the temple. Pounds and pounds. The master comes in after a number of nights. He says, is the rice ready yet? Is it white? Because brown rice gets pounded and cleaned. Is the rice ready yet? Is it white? It has to be sifted, says the rice pounder. It has to be sifted. The master bangs his staff 3 times on the sifting bowl. And Huineng picks up the sifter and he sifts 3 times. Do you know the word discernment? It comes from sifting. Let all the chaff fall through. Let's look at the kernel of our teaching. And 5 strong, young grass houses of tradition and teaching came out of that kind of sifting. Meeting the great matter and carrying on. And maybe this is Dongshan's truest home, because he's in relationship to that sifting and the 5 houses. Now we go down, down, down to the bottom of the middle period of the Tang Dynasty. We go down, down, down into southern China, beyond the Yangtze River, south of the Yangtze River, to an old time, a vital time, even though it's the end, almost the end of the Tang Dynasty. This is a time of great creativity, the birth of Zen growing strong, and also a time of danger and dread. And in these mountains, some of the oldest and truest teachers of this tradition lived. Patchrope monks lived together. Let me call out their names. Baijian, Huangbo, Dongshan, Yunzhou, Yanshan, and Linqi. Cloud and water wanderers. They all lived together in these southern mountains. They lived together in the folds of the mountains. I'm sorry I tortured their names. Forgive me, those who speak Chinese and the ancient ones. Live with it. They're barbarians afield right now. But what's really authentic is the opportunity to go behind the screen into the folds. So we say, patchroped monks willing to live and die together, and a translation for going into the mountains from Zhu Shan, or Yu, free, easy walking, returning to the peaks. Find free and easy walking and return to the peaks. Not so that you can find a teacher in the peaks, but so that the peaks can remember who you are and remind you that you're made of their blood, water, grit, grace, wood, and no barren stones whatsoever. All generative, all speaking and calling. Come in, walk in the mountains. In Latin, we say, solvitur ambulando, which means let everything be solved by walking into the mountains without knowing where you're going. Not aiming, aimless walking. Going inside the mountain to be transformed. And so Dongshan did. And is the Dragon Mountain where Dongshan meets Longshan, his teachers and his friends and patchrope brothers and sisters, is Dragon Mountain
his own Buddha nature to which no paths lead? Or is Dragon Mountain an actual peak? Or, as the translators and scholars say, or is it both his true nature and an actual peak? Because that's how suchness unfolds in that mystery. And the story of Dongshan's life, I remember the first time going to Tassajara Zen Mountain Center almost 50 years ago and hearing two stories. One, a story of a little boy, young boy, vital, maybe in his teens, studying with a Zen teacher, teaching the Heart Sutra. No eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. Wait, puts his hands on his face. But I have eyes and ears and nose and tongue. Didn't say he had a mind. I have them. Why do we say that there are no eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, or mind? You need to go on, said the teacher. Find a guide. But he wasn't looking for a guide, but he stepped in and began to walk and look. And he had some help. He found his way, just like Hui Ning did. He found his way into the southern mountains. And he found a Zen failure of a monk for his teacher. I love that Taigen Dan Leighton refers to Yunyan as a Zen failure. He tried again and again and again to teach Zen, Mr. Yunyan, and it didn't work. He was rejected by Baizan, by Nanshuan, by Yaoshan. These are big Dharma mountains. They sent him along. He was a Zen failure, and then he met Dongshan. And I remember this story from Tassajara, early years. Dongshan asked the Zen failure, tell me, I'm wandering and asking, do inanimate objects teach the Dharma? Do they? He'd been asking others, and others had said, you better go to the Zen failure, see what he says. They didn't call him that, but they found each other. Young, curious monk, and Yunyan. Do they teach? They do. Who can hear the teaching of the inanimate world? He asked. The inanimate hear it, obviously, said Yunyan. The inanimate hear this teaching. Well, why don't I hear it? Asked Dongshan. One answer is, just because you do not yet hear it, do not hinder that which does. That's one answer. But in this case, Yunyan raised his whisk. Do you hear it? No. Honest answer. No, I don't hear it. If you don't hear even my teaching, how can you possibly hear the teaching of the inanimate world? And for the first time, they met, arrow points meeting right there. And something woke up in Dongshan. They met mind to mind, body to body, nature to nature, true nature to true nature. And they practiced together and let the truth of their time together in those mountains unfold. Taigen remembers and reminds us they were intense, but there was also comfort. This was raw teaching, hardly any mention of meditation, no mention of enlightenment and striving for enlightenment, but a complete commitment to waking up together and staying close to the great matter and being undone by the great matter. If you're hot, said Dongshan to a student who asked, what do I do when it's this hot? If you're hot, eat the hot. If you're cold, be killed by the cold. Don't turn away from what is. So it was raw and rigorous teaching in those mountains. And we have a record of it. There is a record, a grass record that disappears. Record of the stories of Dongshan, koan stories, mind-to-mind transmission stories, and then a poem that is attributed to this monk, the student of the Zen failure, to Dongshan. Could it really be that the song of Jewel Mirror of Samadhi that's been chanted for more than 1,000 years was written by this monk? People question it because the first writing didn't come forth until 200 years after his death. And there's a little bit different tone and style in the grass writing. And I say, yes, don't make it so predictable. It should be wild and unpredictable. A song with a lyric that's changing according to where it's sung. We experienced that, didn't we, the other night with Hunt, looking at the 5 ranks. We know the lyric. We know the lyric because it is recorded of the 5 ranks. But, said Taigen, we don't know the melody or the actual tune. Oh, really? Close your eyes. Watch her step up to the piano and sing the song of the 5th rank, the 5th degree of intensity, changing and fresh in these times. But it depends on going back into the text and being bewildered, going into the wilderness of the text and opening it and being opened by it. And so I want to do a bit of that this morning while we're together with your attention. And if you don't have a copy of the text, just let it roll over you. This language has its own song beyond writing and reading and arithmetic. We're going to look, we're going to stop, we're going to look, and we're going to listen to Dongshan's words. Song of the Jewel Mirror of Samadhi. Last night, I was remembering Thich Nhat Hanh parsing Samadhi. In France, has a big window in the Upper Hamlet temple. And that window says Samadhi for concentration and meditation, Prajna for wisdom, and Shila for following the compass of moral action. Those are our 3 jewels and treats. But Samadhi, bring together, place upon, bring your mind and your heart together in the present moment. Unify your mind, place your awareness on a particular object, and go down deep and strong. Suchness. Suchness, it's not a thing, but a way to experience. Immo in Japanese, immo. No nouns, all verbs. No nouns, all verbs. And this kind of writing and poem breaks through. It explodes us. I think of Poet Laureate Kay Ryan, who teaches in community college and is the National Poet Laureate of this country. You aren't swept up whole, no matter how it feels. You aren't swept up whole. You're atomized. A wind passes, you recongeal. Surprise. You aren't swept up whole, no matter how it feels. You're atomized. You recongeal. It's a surprise. You want to chant for 1,000 years words that do this to your heart and mind, so that you're not too comfortable and yet you never turn away from what's in front of you. How does it open? What are the words? And this is such a beautiful opportunity to take the clear, vivid, and dynamic scholarship of Tiger, Taigen Leighton. His translation is strong. Not translation, his assessment, his text. So let's begin. The Dharma of thusness is intimately conveyed by Buddha ancestors. And now you have it. Now we have it. So let's keep it well. Not ossify it, not codify it, not even memorize it, but let it work us. This is a dangerous text. It's made of the bones of practice. So let me respectfully remind you, every single one of you, the night chant, the words of the night chant. Time passes, life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly, opportunity is lost. So let's awaken, every single one of us. Take heed and not squander our life. We're chanting this every day. Let's bring it to life. You know, when I think of this call to remember the Dharma of thusness, intimately communicated by Buddha ancestors. Now you have it, keep it well. It depends on meditation and on service. It depends on listening to the call of the wooden sounding block, the wooden man singing the song of Come to Zazen, that old song. Sho Jiji Dai, Sho Jiji Dai. Life, death, matter, great. Sho Jiji Dai. Wake up. Life is transient, swiftly passing. Be aware. Sho Jiji Dai. Don't waste your time. So when Dongshan asks us to sing the song of the Dharma of thusness, remember it's intimately conveyed by Buddha ancestors that now we have it and we can keep it well. We sing. We practice. Maybe in that practice, looking at the ancestors, we can actually hear Dongshan saying goodbye to his teacher so he can go on and create this work, so he can continue to grow and live. When Dongshan left his teacher, Yunyan asked him, "Where are you going?" And Dongshan said, "Although I am leaving you, I haven't decided where I will stay." "And when will you return?" asked Yunyan. "I'll wait until you have a fixed residence, master," knowing that would never be. After your departure, said his teacher, it will be hard to meet. It'll be hard not to meet. Anyway, so he set out. He left. It'll be hard not to meet. And came to a river, came to a shining river mirror of water, stepped into the water, looked down, and saw his reflection. And he remembered that the last thing his teacher had said to him is, when he asked him, after your death, if someone asks me to describe your reality, what do I say? And Yunyan said, just this is it. It's my reality, just this is it. So Dongshan left, he stepped into the river, the water parted, surly on top, mirror bright underneath, and he looked down into the river, robes wet, sank into thought. And he saw, not to seek from others, you'll be estranged from yourself. He saw, I now go on alone. Everywhere I go, I encounter it. It now is me. I now am not it. And this poem comes out of that crossing, that fresh, deep crossing. The cover of the book, that old picture of the monk entering the water My treasured Dharma sister, when she was in Japan, walking by herself, saw this scroll or a copy of this scroll and began to weep in Japan, remembering the truth of the deep water, the call. That's how it is. And so the text goes on, doesn't it? And on and on and on. Filling a silver bowl with snow, hiding a heron in the moonlight. They're similar, though not the same. When things are side by side, you see the difference. Filling a silver bowl with snow, hiding a heron in the moonlight. They are similar, though not the same. Side by side, you see the difference. And I love the way Taigen opens this for us, telling us again another story of the great Indian teacher, Nagarjuna, sitting and meeting Kanadeva, who came to see him in his room and to receive the teaching from him. Nagarjuna held up a bowl of water, clear water, and put it down in front of the visitor. These were orators of the highest order, philosophers, Madhyamakan kings. The monk reached into his sleeve. He pulled out a silver needle. He dropped it in the bowl. It sank. They met. Transmission complete. Maybe it wasn't a silver needle. It probably would have been a wooden needle, but it was sharp and dangerous and putting together, ready to put together. So hiding a silver bowl with snow, you see, yes, of course we see the silver bowl and we see the snow. We see Nagarjuna's clear water, the realm of the of the serpents. He's the serpent king. We see a bowl of clear water. We see the needle, and we see their difference. But we see them together. They're different, but also the same. They're similar, though not the same. And side by side, you see the differences. So much depends on that. And the meaning is never in the words. Yet, one pivotal instant can reveal it. Move and you're trapped. Miss and you fall into confusion and doubt. If I lose my place in this sutra, one of you will bring me back, right? Because it's a long, winding story. But one more time. So we listen to these words, but the meaning is not in the words. Yet one pivotal instant reveals it. Move, and you're trapped. Miss, and you fall into confusion and doubt. The word for pivot, kanji for pivot, ki, function, operate, work. Pivot, bring up energy, capacity, student, and loom. That pivot point is the place where John Paul Lederach's spider weaves and spins at the same time. That place. Too much talk in modern times of I'm going to pivot to do this, and I'm going to pivot to do that. No, this word is dangerous. We don't want to make it a rootless word. Pivot is dangerous. It's the point when you really see where you're going. And the root of it, I loved reading this at 4:30 this morning in my wonderful old American Heritage District dictionary that my husband sent to me here, and it will be left here at Upaya. To pivot means to prick, to pounce, to pun, to punctuate, to poke, and to hold on so you can turn. So that's what we're looking at. The meaning is not in the words, yet one pivotal, pouncing, punning, punctuated word, instant reveals it. Move and you're trapped. miss, and you fall into confusion and doubt. So, as Katagiri Roshi loved to call out in the meditation hall in the early years at San Francisco Zen Center, stop moving. Stop moving. I can still hear his voice. Stop moving. And he kept a sharp needle on the altar, a hat pin. What's that for? One of his brightest and best asked. He said, it's for poking a hole in balloon puffed up mind. Psh, pierce, poke, pop, pivot. This is not just a nice little song you're going to learn. It doesn't behave. It doesn't behave. It's samadhi. It's jewel mirror. It's a mirror for how we're living. It's held up. Turning away, touching are both wrong. For it's like a massive fire. For years when we chanted, I thought it was, for it's like a mass of fire. I always thought it was a mass of fire. But then I see the writing and I think massive fire. So I poke that and reclaim the mass for me. Because it's authentic. It came up out of my heart and mind and dedication. Not just mine. We don't always hear, the meaning's not always in the words that are written. Turning away, touching are both wrong, for it is like a massive fire. To depict it with complex words is to defile it. You want to turn your back on suchness? No. Turning away, you can't turn your back on suchness. It's at your back. It has your back. It's why we have a strong spine. You can't turn your back on a strong spine. You can't be spineless. But also you can't have a strong spine unless you have a soft front. The merging of difference in unity. One body, one heart, one mind. So I think of a massive fire. I'm the mother of a frontline chief captain. I can't remember. My son has been in the fire service. He's made of fire and water. In the ocean as soon as fires are over, but more than half of his life, he's on the front lines of fire, and California is burning. We live in a burning world. So whenever I think of turning away and touching are both wrong, for it is like a mass of fire, I think of the times we're living in that are burning times. And I think of beautiful teaching from Joanna Macy. When she and her husband Fran married, the preacher that married them said, "My only wish is that you'll see each other as strangers every day, and that you'll also shine in your love by perishing. Shine by perishing, by burning up." So a mass of fire, samadhi, the mirror, suchness shines by perishing. It's got to perish in order for us to pivot, poke, punctuate, prance. Shine by perishing. Everything, oh bhikkhus, is burning. So let's burn ourselves up completely and keep going. Aiming towards suchness is wrong. Aiming towards suchness, this is from Dogen Zenji. Aiming towards suchness is wrong. Aiming towards suchness and turning away from suchness are both just plain suchness. I added the plain. Moreover, being wrong is itself suchness. Ta 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 ta, imo, ta 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 ta, suchness. Meet it. Massive fire. Needle in water. Go. Be a verb. Just to depict it That's Dogen Zenji from Kuge, flowers in the sky. Just to depict suchness with complex words is to defile it. In the darkest night, it is completely clear. In the brilliance of dawn, like this morning, cold morning, couldn't you smell the snow? The edge of snow, cold morning. In the brilliance of dawn, perfectly clear. Suchness acts as a guide for all beings. Its use removes all suffering, although it is not created. It is also not beyond words. Just take it in. I'm not going to parse it. Turning away and touching are both wrong, for it's like a massive fire. Just to depict it with complex, rootless words is to defile it. In the darkest night, it is completely clear in the brilliance of dawn. This is not right. Anyway, in the darkest night, it's completely clear in the brilliance of dawn. You can't see it. It's got to be that, right? It acts as a guide for all beings. Its use removes all suffering. Although it is not created, it is not beyond words. So we're coming to the close of this morning's harangue. The harangue of the Jewel Mirror Samadhi rings out. You know, right before, well, one day, Dongshan asked his community, particularly he asked a monk, what's the most tormenting thing in this world? Hell, said the monk. No, he said, it's to put on this robe and to forget and be unaware of the great matter. That's the most tormenting thing. And it's tormenting, too, to think Dongshan didn't write this. There's more to writing than pen on paper or however writing happens, kanji on rice paper. However it happens, you can smell Dongshan's blood when you sniff this sutra, when you put your face down in suchness. You can smell his blood. How was it transmitted? It was hidden. He said, this is from my teacher, not just to be nice to Yunyan. It was, of course, from his teacher. But not only his teacher, it was from the southern mountains. It was from the folds. It was from world inside of world. Of course, he doesn't own it. It's not his. You know, you're going to see. We can memorize it. It'll begin to become part of us after this Ango, as this Ango continues to unfold. Will be in our blood. Most of you in this room could chant it right now. Close our eyes and chant it, but make it as the poets say, as Tess Gallagher says, make it strange, make it new. And you can't go deep until you go slow. Got to make it strange, make it new, be atomized by it. Hold up the jewel mirror and take a look at how we're living. Hold it up. So I want to close this morning by recalling vivid teaching more than a year ago in this Sangha, Roshi Joan inviting a group of very dangerous, not domesticated women to teach together and reflect on awakened action. We made a pledge. We will look at the pandemic. We will look at the truth of this pandemic, and we'll look at it then and now. We'll look at this morning that 303 million cases of COVID have unfolded. 5.5 million people worldwide are dead. And in the United States, as the maps redden and darken, 835,000 people have taken on COVID. So when these women gathered to be together for a full day, we promised we'll look at pandemic. We'll look at the fire, the mass of fire of climate change. We'll look at the huge inequity and active, crystal clear racism in this country. And we'll meet it. And we'll look at the fact that there's poverty and loss, and we'll look at it. Not reflected in a mirror, we'll be the mirror that shows it. And the very last speaker on that day was Joanna Macy. She's 93. She's just, with the help of brilliant editor Stephanie Kaza, she's just put forth the third edition of World is Lover, World is Self. 30 years of this writing. Roshi Joan wrote a beautiful and true introduction. And Joanna begins by this call to all of us. And this closed this morning with this teaching and reminder. So just listen to her words. We are in a space without a map, on shifting ground. Old habits and forms of navigation no longer work. This is the time of the bardo, a space or a gap between worlds. And Buddha, Akshobhya, the diamond Buddha, the shining Buddha, the water Buddha, the white and blue diamond holding Buddha is facing you. His element is water. He is an embodiment of mirror wisdom, and he holds up a mirror in this bardo time. He holds up a mirror that reflects all the images of space and time. Brilliance illuminated by the darkness of illusion. He is holding up a mirror, for his gift is mirror wisdom, reflecting all that is. And do not look away. Sustain your gaze. Do not look away. Sustain your gaze. This is a time of commitment to not looking away, to sustaining the gaze, meeting the challenge, picking up and refreshing, and atomizing and recongealing this sutra, this song, this dharma of suchness. You are not it, and yet it is somehow you. It's you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's you. Backwards and forwards. Do not look away. Sustain the gaze, lifetime after lifetime, for it's like a massive fire. And just to depict it in fancy words is to defile it. Hold up the mirror, look deep in, and let's practice lifetime after lifetime together. Patch-roped monks and lay people all over the world willing to live and die together and to protect this Saha shining, beautiful world. So, thank you. I'm so grateful to be here and to be part of this practice period with all of you. And may your practice be long and strong, spine straight, front soft, heart open and broken open, lifetime after lifetime. Let's sustain the gaze and get to work. Thank you.